These children are survivors of the devastating tsunamis that struck the Papua New Guinea coast near the town of Aitape in July 1998. They are trying to come to terms with the horrendous disaster and its aftermath. They wrote the song they're singing, Minasawe, meaning I don't know in Pidgin, in an attempt to understand their own feelings about the calamity. We're just children, they sing. We don't really understand what happened to us. Before July 1998, around 15,000 people were living on the coast in the Aitape district in northern Papua New Guinea. 6,000 of them lived in 4 large villages on the sandbar between the Bismarck Sea and the 7-kilometre-long Susano Lagoon. They had a good life, plenty of fish and vegetables, peace and quiet. They were healthy and happy. On the evening of July 17, 1998, a series of powerful earthquakes struck the coast of Aitape. Then 3 enormous tsunamis, tidal waves, up to 15 meters in height, traveling at a speed of more than 100 kilometers an hour, crashed into the coastline. The people on the sandbar were hardest hit. An enormous wall of water bulldozed the villages and broke with a horrific roar over the middle of the sandbar, crushing everything in its path, throwing people and their homes hundreds of meters into the lagoon.
I saw the wave coming in towards the shoreline because I was right there on the shoreline, and I saw the first wave rolling in. It rolls in from the ocean towards the shoreline into the lagoon.
How high was it? How high was it?
The coconut tree, if you look at that coconut tree, I'd say that is 10 meters high, because the wave was so high that it made me look little like an ant standing on the shoreline.
The devastation was total. 4 villages were totally pulverized. There was nothing left but a few broken stilts and splintered trees. More than 2,200 people lost their lives in the tsunami. Hundreds were injured. Thousands more were homeless. 1 year later, life in Aitape is slowly getting back to normal. The jungle has been cleared, and new communities have been built from the ground in the village's former gardens, up to 6 kilometers inland. The Papua New Guinea Red Cross, supported by the sister societies of the International Federation, was deeply involved in the disaster operation from the start, and continues to give assistance to the affected communities.
Well, we certainly try to be here as quickly as we can in the beginning with emergency supplies, and then we step back a little and see what the ongoing rehabilitation needs are and try to be here among the people as much as we can to support their rehabilitation.
Red Cross staff and volunteers and Federation delegates have distributed village resettlement packs to the new communities. Thousands of mosquito nets, fishing equipment, lines and hooks, axes, adzes for canoe making, bush knives, building material and water sanitation equipment.
It is loaded with 600 mosquito nets, 106 river fishing kits, 106 bottom fishing kits, and 53 trolling kits. Then we have axes, adzes for making canoes, and a few smaller things like files, etc.
The Red Cross Health Team repeatedly visited the new communities, surveying the nutritional status of the survivors and providing much needed health information, working on the assumption that village involvement is the key to success. The Red Cross volunteers and Federation delegates work closely with the local population, using local designs, materials and experience whenever possible. Before the tsunami, the Susano Lagoon, with an abundance of fish, provided the people in the coastal region with up to 70% of their daily protein-rich diets. Sago, traditionally harvested in the swampy areas of the surrounding jungle, cared for a large part of their carbohydrate need. as a large number of bodies were never retrieved. The lagoon was declared off-limits for fishing for several months following the disaster, with the result that fish disappeared from the daily diet.
Before the tsunami, they were on a high fish and sago diet with just small amounts of carbohydrate, green leaves, banana and other vegetables. But now they're on a high carbohydrate diet with for most, no fish and yes, little protein.
The lagoon has now been declared safe for harvesting once more. With the new fishing equipment provided by the Red Cross, the villagers can go fishing again and are expected to be back on their normal diet within a few months.
I think before disaster we don't have all this type of things, but through disaster I know that all the families here have got enough.
So
Through the NGO groups.
Okay, good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Today, the old village sites, much loved and missed by the people who grew up on the beaches, are empty and deserted. There is only the occasional visitor who comes to tend the graves and the memories. For the Red Cross, some of the greatest difficulties in the Aitape operation have been logistical. Some of the villages are accessible only by boats or on foot across the jungle swamps. To get from one place to the other, there are several rivers to cross and many a muddy track to wrestle. Fortunately, government helicopters were available in the area in the months following the disaster, and they helped bring in the heaviest materials, such as large concrete rings for lining the protected water wells.
Now this well will help, especially in terms of washing of clothes, plates, because we are trying to look after this water here so that the water can, be fresh for people to use, especially drinking, so fresh water.
The new villages have also been saturated with more than 400 pit latrines. Half a dozen 9,000-litre rainwater tanks for community use have also been built. The tanks are supported by rainwater catchment structures with metal roofs, also designed and built by the villagers with tools and materials from the village resettlement packs.
Originally, the residents here were using water from a stream, a small stream up here, but it's a long ways to walk for the women, and the stream can dry up during the drier months of the year, say August, September. So by completing these concrete-lined water wells in different places throughout the village, that will provide clean drinking water throughout the year. Women won't have to walk as far to carry the water, and it will, improve the general living conditions here for health and for the diet and for water supply.
Early on, the Papua New Guinea Red Cross and the Federation identified the main areas in the Aitape region that would need continued Red Cross support: water and sanitation, community health promotion and nutritional assessment, and community-based training for disaster preparedness, healthcare and first aid. These are now the main components of a 2-year post-disaster program developed by the National Society with Federation support. The response to the appeal for help from the International Federation and its national societies was overwhelming. The Federation's original appeal for $600,000 was covered in a matter of days and had been nearly doubled by the end of 1998. Many national societies also raised considerable amounts. All told, over $3 million were raised globally by the Red Cross Red Crescent movement, far more than Aitape would ever need. The overwhelming response has enabled the Federation and National Red Cross and Red Crescent societies to support programs and training in other parts of this disaster-prone region. The Red Cross and its donors are now channeling the remaining funds into comprehensive disaster preparedness and capacity building programs throughout the Pacific, as well as in Papua New Guinea. That way, The Aitape disaster can continue to be a lesson and a warning